This is my favorite hunter build in the entire game, and it's been that way since the final shape released. Now, to be clear, this is not some meta-defining build where you're going to run into ultimate content and steamroll everything. You may die, because we are using Gunpowder Gamble, and that thing will kill you sometimes. But still, this is a very fun build, and I strongly suggest you try it, especially if you're looking for a bit of an off-meta pick, and this is that. It's tons of fun. Starting off with our subclass, we go for the aspects of Ascension and Gunpowder Gamble. Ascension is an incredible tool to allow us to get amplified very, very easily, as well as jolting targets that are nearby. Not only that, when you pair this with an aggressive frame ergo sum, it's a ton of fun. I'll get to that when we get to the weapons portion of the video. Gunpowder Gamble is one that you can kind of swap in and out of, but I always like to stick with it just because it's fun. It's always nice to just throw this in a crowd of enemies and just watch them explode. That's all I gotta say about it. It's just tons of fun. Dustfield Grenades is a very, very important part of the build because we're going to be running Renewal Grass. More specifically, we are running the base version of Renewal Grass, not the exotic class item. The difference between the two is that the exotic class item does not spawn a Stasis Crystal. You only get Frost Armor for being in a Dustfield Grenade. The base version of Renewals does spawn a Stasis Crystal, and that's very important because it allows us to get a lot more damage out of our grenade. If you run the exotic class item, you're going to lose out on a lot of damage, is essentially what I'm saying here. So use the base version of Renewal Grass with Dustfield Grenades. Smoke Bomb is just an instant pick for me because it allows us to deal even more damage all the time. By throwing a Smoke Bomb and having Facet of Dawn equipped, you can gain Radiant and Weaken for a single button click. That is a lot of damage all the time. Any sort of mobbing situation, throw a Smoke Bomb, you disorient the enemy, and not only that, you deal more damage because you have Radiant now. Very strong pick, and I love this combination of Snare Bomb and Facet of Dawn. We also run Gambler's Dodge because this just allows us to have that smoke bomb up even more often. It allows us to spam smoke bombs all the time, and also allows it to where whenever we use Ascension, you can kind of throw a smoke bomb at your feet, and whatever's below you is not only jolted, but also weakened as well. Our super is really up to you. I use Silk Strike because I like having the Woven Mail from Faceted Purpose, but use whatever super you feel is necessary for what build you want to create, but having the damage reduction from Woven Mail, Frost Armor from our Renewal Grass, as well as Amplified from Ascension, is just a good combination of a lot of DR all at once. As for our fragments, we take Facet of Hope. This allows us to use our Ascension way more often because we're going to have an elemental buff on us essentially all the time. Facet of Purpose is very necessary to every prismatic build. This allows us to get that Woven Mail as mentioned earlier. Facet of Ruin, this is a 2-for-1. This allows your Gunpowder Gamble to do more damage, as well as the Shatter from the Stasis Crystal from our Dustfield Grenade to also deal more damage as well. Easy 2-for-1, no-brainer pick for this build. Facet of Purpose is always an instant pick for most builds because taking less damage is always good. It's never not a good thing. Instant pick, always use this on a prismatic build. And then, as I mentioned earlier, Facet of Dawn. When you pair this in combination with Smoke Bomb, it just allows you to just throw one ability and just gain so much damage for such an easy thing. And when you pair this with Ascension, it's very nice to just throw it at your feet, as mentioned earlier, and then now you're dealing even more damage just for free. All you did was throw one ability, now you're doing like 40% more damage. I made that number up, but it might be right, who knows. As for the main weapon of the build, is going to be an aggressive frame ergo sum. Like I said, specifically an aggressive frame. You can run whatever ergo sum you want, that's Arc Conductor, but I find that this setup is so much fun because when you use Ascension, you just build up this height, and then you have this slam attack with the aggressive frame that just brings you right back down to earth. It's tons of fun. It's a very, very fun build. I can't reiterate that anymore. You'll see the gameplay, but it's a very, very nice combination that you should not sleep on. As for our exotic armor of choice, as mentioned, it's going to be Renewal Grasp. It doesn't say it in the actual armor perk, but when you throw that grenade, as mentioned, it drops a Stasis Crystal at the grenade point, and that is a lot of damage. It's a ton of damage that if you don't use the base version of this exotic, you'll lose out on. So, the exotic class item version is very good, but for the purposes of this build, you want to run the base version. The mods are nothing crazy, it's just a bunch of font mods. I have been using this build for about a year and a half now, so when we got all the Edge of Fate changes, I didn't really know what to do. At the time when I redid this build, I just threw on a bunch of font mods to see how it liked it, and it worked out. You know, getting a little bit of extra class for an overshield is nice. Health might not be the biggest thing in the world, but having it is also helpful. And font mods, they're all around just S-tier mods now that are always going to be beneficial for you, because at any point in the game, you're probably going to have armor charge. You definitely run other things if you'd like, but this is just what I have been running, and it's been working out for me. The only thing of note regarding the artifact that's probably important is going to be dielectric, because when we jolt those targets with Ascension, we're going to be getting a bunch of arc debuffed enemies killed. So that'll give us a bunch of bolt charge. That is very helpful because this build has no other access to bolt charge, to my knowledge, unless you decide to run an arc super. But that just feels like a waste because you're losing a lot of damage reduction at that time. If you care for the fashion, this is what I've been rocking. I have been using this since basically Final Shape came out. This is one of my favorite fashions, and it may not be the best fashion in the world, but it's my fashion, and I love it. It's been one of my go-tos for a long time, and this build has held up, and I just want to share it with you guys.